Hello everyone. I am doing a flip through video today. This is day one of Salzburg, Austria. So I've been working on my 6x8 pocket pages of my time in Austria. I was in Salzburg and Vienna, so I'm not to Vienna yet, but this is all day one of Salzburg. So I wanted to just go through here. I did do process videos for most of these, but not all. So you may have seen some of these being put together, but some of them will be new. So this is my opening page and I have no photo, which is slightly unusual. But what I do have is a copy of my train ticket. So I wanted to make sure that I included that. And then I used some vellum in the background here, which I haven't used a lot really for years, but I've seen it kind of come back on some layouts. So I thought I would give it a whirl. And I do like how it turned out on this particular layout. So there's the other side. Again, no photo here either, but I loved this postcard. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I just want to include the stuff. And I liked this so much, I wanted to include it. I knew I had a phrase and some stuff that might work with it. So I went with it. Here is my first page that actually has photos. And this was once I actually arrived in Salzburg at the train station. And if you watch my process videos, you know there was a not so good story that goes with this page. I haven't journaled it yet because I tend to journal in batches. I'm a kind of person where I can't journal like at a crop or at a retreat normally. I need it to be quiet. I need to really think about what I want to say. Sometimes I'll write it out on another piece of paper first and then put it on here to make sure it'll fit. Sometimes I wing it. But I need more focused time to do it. And so I generally don't do that in my live videos or anything. So I will probably do it all as one batch once I finish this video and before I move on to Vienna. So on this particular layout, I have a flip on here and I use some fun things on this page. And then on the other side, I did a process video for this one. I remember this is just the hotel where we stayed and it was beautiful on the inside, very old world. And so I wanted to give that its due. So it got its own layout. This was one of my favorite layouts because I loved this postcard. It's a 6x8 postcard. It came in exactly the right size, which is awesome. So I just added some little embellishments to it and it was good to go. So I kind of like the easy ones sometimes. This is a style of page protector I don't use a lot, so it was a challenge. It definitely challenged me, but I got stuff in there that I think goes with the album, makes it cohesive. And really, I had so many photos from Mirabelle Gardens that I really needed something like this so that I could cut up some of those photos, make them smaller, but still get them in here. So I was happy about that. And one thing I wanted to mention too is that I made a concerted effort on this trip to make sure that my friend and I were in some photos because I don't take a lot of pictures of myself. I'm not a selfie person. So I actually bought a selfie stick before we went. It's a Bluetooth one, so I learned how to use it and all that, took it with us. And I'm so glad that I did because we got some really fun, great pictures of us together. This space I have left because I'm going to enter some info there on Mirabelle Palace and Gardens, so I will do that later. This layout has a full 6x8 photo, which I love to do sometimes if it's appropriate. Here I thought it was because you really need to see the long view. So this is kind of where you walk into Mirabelle Gardens if you come through the main entrance and you can see it all the way down. There's more after these trees here, shrubs, and then up here is the fortress. So it was a really good view, I thought. And then more of the gardens here. I have a little fabric embellishment there and I really liked that one. And then on this side, these are just die cuts, and then I did a little sparkly pen work on there to enhance them a bit. And this is also one of my favorites because look at those gorgeous sequins. I love sequins. I'm kind of addicted. Ever since I got my fuse tool and I figured out I could do stuff like this, I have been all about the sequins. And I thought this was appropriate because I just had a little pocket to work with and I could match all the colors, and I'm super happy with that. So this is actually a 3x8 insert from Ali Edwards. Here's the other side, just featuring a statue inside the gardens. And then here we were off to explore the city, and I loved all the bright yellow, so I wanted to work that in there. And then this was when we walked further through Salzburg down by the river. So you can see us on the river walk here, and they had a bridge with all the locks on it, which I fundamentally disagree with, but they were already there, so we took a picture. And you can see this one has a flip as well. This actually has two. So there's one, there's two. I just had so many photos from, you know, featured by the river that I wanted to get them all in there. This was our lunch and snack as we walked around the city a little bit, just being average tourists, doing some sightseeing. And then this one, I may go back and do something to it. I haven't figured out exactly what I want to journal, but I want to journal something. And then this has so much color, I was afraid kind of to add anything. So I don't know that these are all going to stay blank. They might, but I may go back and add something. I reserve the right to do that. All right, and then this one. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see that on there. There's some little dots of that same metallic pen that I used before in the die cut. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. But this is the Christmas store in Salzburg. Christmas is a huge deal there. They also have a Christmas museum, which you'll see when I do day 2 of Salzburg. But we decided to go there. I am not a Christmas person. I don't celebrate the religious aspect of Christmas. But my friend that I was with absolutely loves it, and I did promise to bring home some ornaments for people. So I had to go in there and do some shopping. So you can see here, this page has a flip as well. So lots of ornaments on display, and I wanted to make sure that I got in some of the great photos that I was able to get in that store. So there were lots and lots. This was cutting down a lot. And here's the rest of it. And I really didn't have to journal on this one because the pictures speak for themselves. It's obvious what we're looking at and what we were doing. We're just shopping, looking around. But I did want it to have some bling, so I added that. And then this is one of my favorites so far. I love the full 6x8 page. I love the embellishments I was able to use, a little bit of stamping there. I just really like it, so I'm pleased with this one. And then here's another one where I use a postcard. I don't do that a whole lot, but it's going to come up several times in the albums I'm working on right now because I just found really good options for postcards when I was in Europe this time. So I used this one here, and again, I really liked the embellishments that went with it, and then adding that vellum again. I really am liking the soft look of it, especially for something like this. So quite pleased with that one as well. And then this one is just about our dinner. I made this myself, so if you watch the process video on this page, you got to see me put this together and how I figured out what I was going to use. And then I will journal about it. There kind of was a story there about our dinner, so I will make sure I do that at a later time. And then this is when we went back to Mirabell Palace because we had a concert in the evening. We saw a concert that featured Mozart, Schubert, and Haydn, I think. I'll know when I flip the page because the program's on the back. But I wanted to use the program, so that was the front of it. And then this just shows our ticket, and when we entered the palace for the first time going inside, it was fantastic. They just don't make buildings like that in America. So it was quite the experience to go in and see that beautiful setting. So here's the back. So I wanted to keep this so you could see the front and the back and see what was actually played. I was right. So 2 Schuberts, a Haydn, and a Mozart. And I didn't want to embellish that. I wanted to keep that as it was. And then some of these are just from intermission when we had time to wander around and look at the beautiful ornate room that the concert was held in that night. And just some interesting details of the palace. And then I just made this filler card myself. I didn't have one that fit, so I made my own. And I just added minimal things here. I'm trying to keep this as a flatter album to keep down the bulk on it. And so that was pretty much all the embellishing I wanted to do there. And this is my last full layout here. After the concert was over, we decided to go outside and walk around the gardens and get the night view of it. And so many of the statues were lit up. Parts of the garden were also lit. So we were able to get some photos. I did do this journaling because I didn't have a whole lot to say, so I knew it would fit in there, so I did that. And this one did not have a process video, so this came together so quickly I didn't even have time for that. So I just put it together and let it be what it was. So I just added some foam stars on there, a little bit of washi to bring in all that blue and green, and this one was done. So that's it. Salzburg day 1 is complete. Now I'll be moving on to Salzburg day 2, and the starter of that will be the Sound of Music tour. So if you're a Sound of Music fan, I hope you'll stick with these videos to see those fun photos.